First Corinthians chapter 1 verse 25. And the weakness of God is stronger than man. Now, it is trying to paint that God is weak or that God is foolish. But from your own perception, from your own point of view, what you perceive to be foolishness, whatever you perceive to be weakness. Last 2 weeks, one of my sons came to see me in the office and he said, "Pastor, I have a new investment, a very wonderful investment I want to make." I said, "Wow, okay." He said, "I've actually made this investment and it has paid off. It has paid me a little, and now I'm planning to do it big." I said, "Okay. So what's the plan now?" He said, "I'm going to get money from here, gather it, so that I'll be able to make this money once." I said, "Okay." So when he finished saying that, I told him, I said, "The investment is not going to work because that is scam." He said, "Sir, they have paid me the first one. They have paid me the second one." I said, "How much did they pay you?" You know, I have to inculcate this just now into my message to help some of you, because I've been noticing a lot of trend. And my job as a pastor is to be able to protect you. Miikwe. That is miikwe. They have paid me. I said, "How much did you put in?" He said, "Like I put in, let's say, put in 50,000. And they say they're going to be giving me this percentage of it and they have paid me the first percent." I said, "Calculate the whole percent they have paid you so far. Is it up to the money you have put in yet?" I said, "It is not up to it." So they are collecting from the money you have paid, and they are giving you the percentage the day they said they will give it to you, so that you will say, "Hey, it's working." You now go and sell your land and go and put inside it. Away, métier. 1 week plus, he sent me his text message. "Sir, God bless you, sir. God bless you, sir. That thing have closed." I said, "No, but I know it will close now." I told you? It will close. Another of my daughter last week came and told me she has saved some money. And this money took her years to save, to buy something she wanted for her business. And after the savings, somebody is trying to introduce her to another of such investment. I said, "Give me the number of person introducing you first." I say, "I bind you from this territory. Don't come near this money." I say, "Instead, give me this money. Let me put it in my account and keep it for you." Because that one, he goes still closer. Yes. So, you are doing your own, it will close. What I just giving you is a no. That's what it's called. Yeah, giveaway. I just did you free service giveaway of common sense. Nobody has done me wayo before in my life. Because common sense, you bring common sense, put it inside something. No, but you allow greed. Thank you. So this is just giveaway. If you are involved in any of those investments, try as much as possible to withdraw your money as fast as you can. So wisdom. That is even man, between man and man. by just experience, by just understanding history, by knowing that history repeats in patterns. That if it happened before, it will happen again. Now, because you are involved, will not change it. Some of you thought MMM will not close because you are involved. That you're involved doesn't change anything. So, if there is something from your own standpoint, because while I was talking to him, he could have looked at it from his own point and say, Pastor, what are you? Yeah, sharp money that is there. But I know basically that understanding economic indices, there's one thing I always tell people. Nigerians, what am I talking about? Maybe that's what God wants you to hear today. Nigerians, go and ask any standard company. Most of them don't make 20% turnover in a year. A company that makes 20% turnover. No. Some is 2%, some is 5%. In the whole year, I didn't say one more. In the whole year, when you calculate their turnover as against the investment they've put in, most times they don't make up to 10%. That is why at every time when you check what is bank rates now, bank rate of lending money, how many percent do you people give people money? If you put in how many do they give? How many percent? Standard percent. Okay. Bank doesn't give up to 1%. Why? Because bank will never give you money that is bigger than the inflation rate. They measure the inflation rate first. If this message is bigger than you, you ask the Lord to help you. I say, I can't do anything about it. There is nothing I can do about it. But I have to say it. The inflation rate, they will measure the inflation rate and now reduce hand to give you interest rate. Interest rate per time is lower than inflation rate. There was a time you were in primary secondary school, there's a course they called economics. You were in on a you are not in on a this serious now. You said you will not need it for anything. Now even in church, economics has found you and come back to pay you back from where you. So the inflation rate affected. I always tell you, if those businesses are true, the first people to invest are bank. Bank will carry all their money. Even the federal government, Buhari, will come and say, yeah. Because 50% on every, even cross charities will invest because they don't make 50% in a year. But in Kegina, they give 50% in 1 week. Yeah? Just put it, you take back. Don't you have sense? I know what I'm talking is foolishness. You know what you are doing. I'm waiting for you at the junction when you cry. That is when you know that what I'm saying is wisdom. In the name of whatever it comes, even if they told you they are using it for Bitcoin, is a lie. It's some boys in one flat. In one room, 7 of them with 9 laptops forming Bitcoin company for you. Maybe that's the message for today. The topic today is have sense. Have sense. Don't come and be crying because the little 10,000 and 50,000 that you have been saving throughout the whole year, you go and carry it and give boys say by easy. All those iPhones you see them is your money they are using to buy those iPhones. Help yourself. The wisdom of God. So if there is something called the weakness of God, if there is something called the foolishness of God, that thing is better than your wisdom. It's better no matter how much you feel you know. Genesis chapter 1 verse 26 and 27. Then God said, let us make man in our own image and according to our likeness. Let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds of the air, and over the cattle, over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. By area of emphasis. So God created man. Everybody read. Want to go? God created man in the image of God. He created him, male and female. He created. So this verse is trying to say that God created man in whose image? In the image. Then he said, in the image and in the likeness of God, he created male and female. So every male, every female here is created in the image and what? And the likeness of God. Say it, I am created. You need to say it very well. Say, I am created in the image of God. Say it, I am created in the image of God. Say it, I am created in the likeness of God. I saw only men saying it because probably women don't believe they are part of it. Say it, I am created in the image of God. I am created in the likeness of God. So Genesis chapter 3 verse 4 and 5. Now everybody, I want you to read because I'm going to build up something briefly from this. Genesis chapter 3 4 to 5. Then everybody read together. Want to go? Then the serpent said to woman, you will not surely die. For God, the next verse. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be opened and you will be like God. No. The previous place we read, the Bible said, God said, let us create man in our own image. And in the image of God, he created them what? Male and female. In the image and the likeness of God. So, Genesis chapter 3 verse 6. Show me verse 6. 3 verse 6. Okay, let's read verse 3, then we'll read verse 6. Let's read verse 3 first. Just follow me. Everybody want to go read. But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. So look, what is the instruction? He said, number 1, you shall not do what? You shall not eat it. Number 2, you should not do what? Touch it, lest you die. So God comes out and says, don't touch this thing. Don't eat this thing. When you touch or you eat it, you will die. This is God, the Almighty God, saying that if you touch this or you eat it, you will die. Look at verse 6. Okay. Before verse 6, read again verse 5. Read again. Verse 5. We've read it before. For God knows, God said the other first time that if you do what? Sit up well. Sit up good. Before you sleep. That position now from there on. You sleep. Okay. Everybody want to go. For God knows that in the day you eat of it, your eyes will be open and you will be like God, knowing good and evil. But what did God say? Verse 3. Or go back. What did God say? Or eat it, lest you die. Then verse 5. Devil says, so this is what God has said, what the devil is saying. Then Eve has to do her own assessment. Verse 6. Look at it. Verse 6, everybody. So when the woman saw that the tree was good for food. Hello. Who told you the tree was good for food? She saw. He said, this God is very wicked. They go eat this apple. They go eat this. What shines when it's on the tree? Probably cashew or something like that. Shining. He looked at it and he is in her own wisdom. This fruit is good for what? for food, and that it was pleasant, and a tree. Now, who is the person that is trying to be wise? Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. Again. Genesis chapter 1, verse 27. Everybody want to go? So God created man in his own image, and in the image of God he created him, male and female. Male and female. Somebody that is created in the image of God now looks at a tree and says, this one is desire. This one can make somebody wise. I need more wisdom. God is hoarding wisdom from us. He doesn't want us to know everything. Don't eat this fruit. This fruit is poison. He said, and she looked at it and she said that this fruit is good for food. Okay. So, everybody, so she took of its fruit and ate. She also gave to her husband with her, and okay, he ate. Now it's time to be wise. Verse 7. You want to be wise. Now they have received the wisdom to see nakedness. So, the instruction was very simple. Of the tree of this garden, in the midst of the garden, you shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. But because the foolishness of God, like in 1 Corinthians, is wiser than the wisdom of man, the weakness of God is stronger than the strength of man. One of the things that has kept man where it is because most times man thinks that he knows how best to take care of himself. He knows how best to handle his issues. He knows how best to handle his family. He knows what is best for his business. He knows what is best for his ministry. See, even from primary school, a child will tell you what I'm planning. I'm planning this. I'm planning. I have this plan. There is this thing I'm doing now. There is this thing when I finish doing it. This year will be. And all your life, you've always banked on your own strength. You've always banked on your own wisdom. Everything that God, even the wisdom of God, because God's wisdom is far above what man can comprehend. Therefore, part time, the wisdom of God appears to be foolishness to man. Why did God wrap up poison in a fruit that looks desirable? It's not today that women started desiring it. Desirable to eat. Adam has been seeing that fruit. You now looked upon it and said it is desirable to eat. But God said that thing that you see that is shining is what? Come on now. Is what? It's poison. It will kill you if you eat it. God, look at this thing now. God, look at it. Just check it. I know you are God. You know, no. Not be like say they drag God with you, but you check it. God is saying, what am I checking? Is it what I created that you are trying to explain to me? Sometimes some of you will even summon God and say, God, sit down, let me explain things to you. Let you understand this thing clearer. Let's have a clearer picture. And God is looking at you, okay? What is the clearer picture? God, look at this thing. This thing is desirable. God, this thing you are asking me, check it. Does it make sense? So part time, anybody. That is why God started working with man. No longer on the basis of sense, but on the basis of faith. Because if you use your sense, you cannot comprehend the details of what God is saying. So God looks at man and said, if you're going to walk with me, the only way you can walk with me successfully is by what? Come on now, somebody talk. By what? By faith, not by sense, not by common sense. Because if you are judging with your common sense, you will see poison and think it is food. Then you will see food and say, no, this one is poison. God can tell you, leave this contract, go for this one. You say, God, hey, this one now. Oh God, and most times that is why most times people think that the obedience to God's word is suffering. That anytime God says do this, that God is always in the business of making people suffer. See this slay papa I want to marry, that just came back, he's fine, he's there's fresh boy, and this thing is working, I'm doing my job here and God is impressing in my heart, leave this guy. Why is it every time that what God is telling people to do is something that is hard, something they will not? Why? But God is not telling you something that is hard. It's just that he's wiser than you and you are foolish. And you are perceiving what his wisdom to be foolishness. He says, follow this guy. Follow this guy that is regular. That just have one self-contained. Where he's staying. And you are saying, wow. Sometimes when people don't want to answer or do anything that God tells them, and then mana otu osinati could check him, could check it, and they may make it look like, but God is actually, as we are crying. I always tell people, I told somebody, I said it's pride for you to even think God is pursuing you, that God is forcing you to do what he knows that is best for you. It's just like God calls you into the ministry and say, oh, pastor, I don't want this. Or maybe God is calling you to marry a pastor. He say, pastor. And God is looking like, I'm trying to help your life. Because the place you are going to, there is what? Hello? The place you are going to, there is what? Nothing in it. You are just looking at a tree that is desirable. Oh, I die. I'm asking how know this fruit. Listen to me. Except it's God you are following. If it is God you are following, your sense will be out of it. Yes, that's what we are talking about. When they talk about Christianity, people think that I say your sense will be out of it, because what do you know? What do you know as compared to God? What do you know? What do you know? Maybe if God is calling you to full-time ministry and he said, no, what are you doing? What are you saying? You mean you are going to leave this and face this? You mean, check it now. Tomorrow when God raises you to become a first, they start saying, we always knew it. We always knew you have it in you. sense. It never makes sense. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6. Hebrews chapter 11 verse 6. But without faith, it is impossible to please God. For he who comes to God must believe that he is, and that he is a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. But he who comes to God must first believe that he is. Abraham, stand up, leave your father's house to a land that I will show you. I will make of you a great nation. Okay. Who have you taken to the land before? Nobody. Okay. Since you have not taken anybody to a land, where is the land? He said, follow me to a land that flows with milk and honey. Can you give me a sample of the milk and honey now? Let me see. Apostle, because like since you know where the milk and honey is, can I see a sample? I'm going to get on a sachet of the milk and honey. Follow me. Leave my father's house. Leave my father's inheritance. Leave everybody I've known and follow him. Now Abraham believed God, and it was accounted unto him for righteousness. That is why Abraham became the father of faith, because he was the man that ruled away sense. Nobody walks with faith with sense at the same time. Faith, are you hearing me? He was the father of faith. Leave your father's house to a land that flows with milk and honey. I will give it to you and your descendants. Look upwards. Have you seen the stars? He said yes. Can you count them? No. Now, so I will make your descendants like the seashores. Abraham said, this is the month that Sarah will get belly. If the Lord has said it, this is the month. Nothing happened. Abraham counts if you cannot count the sand on the seashore, your descendants. And still Abraham believed God. Noah, sir, build for me an ark. Okay. So what is this ark meant to be? I am about to destroy the world with rain. Before this time it has not rained. Before, what they were having was dew that waters the ground. Dew. Noah, please explain to us, what is this rain? Water will start coming from up. You will not understand it until somebody tells you, prepare. Tomorrow. Even snow self is not far-fetched because you have seen it other places. It's not easy. You can't even believe it because you've seen it other places. There may be something, it might be due to climate change. Something will happen. Money will fall. They laughed Noah to scorn. Listen, that was not a good time to be Shem or Ham. You don't understand what I mean. Your father be boom, 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 boom. They say, Shem, my father. Your father is building that boat. How many years did he build it? Do you know? 120 years old. He was building Sir, come. Shame. Do you like sometimes advise this your father? Oh, come where you're now. The man, I think he's always high. And the children will come back because they did not hear what you heard. The wife will gather. Honey, you know I love you. It's not like I'm complaining like other people. You understand? But let's check this thing again. Ham will come back from school and say, I'm no longer going to school. The insult is too much. But those guys followed God with everything that is in them. Defying all the shame, defying all the mockery, defying all the odds. If it might even be that the children, the daughter-in-laws will say, if we don't enter this ship, they will say we are not good what? Wives. This man, this kind of family. If I don't enter now, they say I didn't enter. Children, let's enter. I know we will come out. Let's enter. I know. And they entered. The girl will just be making up Noah. Noah. Somebody's surname is now Noah. My children will not be bearing this Noah. So when you wake up one day and God tells you, I want you to abandon everything you're doing. I want you to abandon everything you're doing and do ministry. The first line of action is to carry all the sense and put it alongside with it. So let's check. If we are checking it, there is no need of. God is not in it. What are we checking? Are you checking? Are you using your wisdom to check what God has said? Abraham has finally tried everything and gotten one son. God woke up one morning. Abraham, sir, give me your only son. Your only son, Isaac, whom thou lovest. Take him up and sacrifice him. And the guy didn't say, wait. You said, number one, is that now that I've given birth to the child finally at old age. How will you do it? How will you? What is your plan? No. This thing is not God. Your sense cannot capture. That is why when somebody tells you your commitment in church, why are you always going there? Why are you? I remember there was a place I read. Was it last 2 Wednesdays? Let me look for it. I think Mark chapter 10, verse 28. I need to call back our attention to that. Mark 10, 28 to 30. I read it last 2 Wednesdays in church. Then Peter began to say, see, we have left all and did what? Come on now. We have left all and did what? And followed you. Now, continue. Want to go? So Jesus answered and said, surely I say to you, there is no one who has left what? Look at the thing Jesus wanted them to leave. Left what? Come on now. Left what? House. That was why people were selling their properties to bring to church. So when you wake up one day and say, I have only one car, and God is saying I should give this car seed. I have only one land, and God said I should give it as seed. There is nobody that is your friend that you should expect them to understand. Oh, am I talking to somebody? You don't expect your friends to understand. You don't. When we moved to Soprom, God told me, He said, don't stop collecting salary from Assemblies of God people. I said, do you want me to take care of you? Stop collecting salary from, don't salary. When I was saying it, I was afraid. I was scared. Because it's not like I had a plan. It's not like I had anything figured out. But I knew this was God. I cannot, I always tell you, God does not explain, God reveals. What does explanation means? Reasoning, no. It's only when you finish doing it, you now say, oh, was this what God was planning? And now I'm asking myself, God, why, if this thing is a secret, why didn't you tell me this? Why didn't you tell me this? But God brings you to a level of yielding. It starts from give your shoe. Give your shoe. Give your wristwatch. Give your phone. He watches you do it. Then he graduates. Give your this. Because for you to follow God in the infinite wisdom part of God, which will definitely lead you to abundant blessing, you must be fully yielded. And you cannot follow it by understanding it. By understanding it. Some of you till today, it's still hard for you to pay tithe. It's still hard for you to pay all your tithe. Just 10% to 10% is hard for you. Every time you sit down, what you are eating have become the explanation of it. It is that explanation that has kept. I know you think you know the fruit that is desirable to eat. If we want, we'll raise committee for you. You'll be the head of it. The committee to vet if tithing is true. I told you that I will never waste my energy to convince anybody if what? If tithing is true. I am the one paying. I am the one that knows the benefit in my own life. So the same way you can go to the club and dash money and do this thing. Nobody queries you. You don't have right to query me. I'm doing my own. You follow God with too much sense. Too much sense. God, let's check it. Let's check. And that is why God is even saying, leave this relationship. You don't want to leave it. So God, if I leave this, and who will now be giving me money to make my hair? No problem. Stay there. When you can be producing hair, you are looking for somebody to give you money to make hair. And God is saying, disconnect with this person. But your wisdom, your own wisdom. You're in service and God lays in your hand, say, go and buy this thing for church. He said, it will cost only my last account. He said, go and close it and buy it. He said, but the problem is, how will I survive? How will I? God never explains that. If God has ever laid in your heart to do something and God explained the reason, God doesn't explain. Take that seed, go and drop at the altar. No explanation. Abraham, take your only prophet, give me the last meal for you and your boy. No explanation. He didn't say, give me the last meal for me and I will open the windows of oil for you. Hey, he didn't give him any promise. Are you getting what I'm saying? Because your faith has to be involved. Your faith has to be involved. If you think your family member will understand why you are coming to the church, why you're very committed, if you expect them to understand, you are joking. They didn't hear what you heard. You check it, even amongst God's people, they will be the first telling you now, it is too much. My parents told me they have been men of God before me. people of God. They have done this ministry. They were, in fact, your father was a pastor before they became there to you. So if we are telling you about ministry, do what? Listen. I say lie. So you should know that. If it is God, imagine that Abraham wanted to explain to Sarah what God told him. Honey, I was praying this morning. It's like God just told me that I should take Isaac and go and sacrifice at the altar of God. You know that I always tell people there are basic realities I know in life. No matter how much you try to, your wife loves your son more than you. So, okay, you didn't hear that? Oh, you are. Your husband loves your daughter more than you. If they say one person should go, you know, go think and 2 times. Oh, you don't know? No, it's not public. It's not at public domain. It's in your hearts, your individual hearts. You know it. So Sarah will just put something in Abraham's. Just. Eh? Ofunko Jiaka. I'm not telling you. I said, God will forgive me later. Just like this. Abraham will sleep from here, enter coma and die. He will not even argue. You know, come and say, so that come here, no. Oh, no, can we hear Japan? By 12 o'clock. Okay, no problem. You see, yes. But now, Sarah is a beneficiary of those faiths. If they call Abraham, they call for Sarah. But if Sarah was carried along, Sarah would have frustrated it. Sarah, you will be with a child by this day. He laughed the way he laughed the angel. He laughed the angel. They were not talking to him. They were talking to Abraham. He said, these people are joking. He laughed the angel. Laugh and say, these people, Abraham, now this is your God. This is your God. You're taking a problem. So your sense is not needed. Some of you need to look up to your parents, look and say, this is between me and God. You understand? Stay clear. I was discussing with Pastor Snachi during the week. So, and she was just telling me how in those days, when after service, if she gets home, she's always either too scared to wondering what she will go telling people for house, you know, and how either she will just summon courage or album baba and all those things. That day, they will come back, they will gather. This church, you are. I said, okay. Now they are my in-laws, Abby. And I am a good in-law now, Abby. It's not like she was doing it because she was going to marry pastor. But after all, she married pastor. And that is the same way it pays off for everybody in different order. Because when you are convinced about it, it was between you and God. It is God that is ordering your step. He knows what He wants to make out of you. And if you listen to other people and follow it, you will miss it. It's between you and God. Even your parents will tell you stories about how other people wanted to fight them when they were pushing for their own belief. Now, when they won't allow you to believe your own. It doesn't make sense. I always tell people, does it make sense that January like this, God asks you and said, give me your first salary, the first fruit? It does not make sense. There is no explanation. One of the years, somebody says, "Sir, I want to see you. I want to see you." That time we don't have office, so I sat here. The person came. I said, "Sir, this first fruit, I want you to explain." I said, "I do not have explanation." I said, "No, I do not have. If you believe it, do what? Do it. If you don't," I said, "I don't have explanation." I said, "I do it without explanation, and it's working for me." I was convinced to understand that this is a principle. I did it. It worked for me. God led people followed God sheepishly. If Paul and Eche comes here now, so you will lie down and go and close your account and even give him and say, "The man of God has come." This is a man that God has anointed, that has given results, which is the truth. But if it was year back when he left his profession and packed the wife with some of the boys and went to Abuja to stay in one room, if they called you that time to say, "This is a man of God," you say, "Hey, man of God should have sense. If you're a man of God, God should give you first of all sense." You say he doesn't know. He doesn't know. No. God has to. It was not the God that made you to be a doctor. You, your wife, your daughter. Don't you know? Don't you know? You start explaining from the abundance of your foolishness. But that person is following the wisdom of God, which appears to be what? Which appears to be foolish. The strength of God, the ability of God, which appears to be weak at that time. How many of you, God will tell you to give your last card and you won't think about it? If you are still in that level, you are growing. If you are still thinking when God says give this, you never. I've stayed around some few rich people. All of they are givers. I say, forget what you think. Forget things you think you are. Some of you are angry. When you see rich people, you're angry. You say they are not helping the poor. That's the reason why you are where you are. No. In fact, even in Nigeria, it's a problem to be rich, because even if you are just, some of you, just because you are wearing good clothes, you know how many people come to your inbox to disturb you. Where is she working? We say she's working in First Bank. Oh, she has made money. Auntie Bicon, brother Bicon. So in Nigeria, we are mutually poor. Everybody, even though you have money, the poor people around you makes you are just, everybody's. I'm telling you. The wisdom of God. It's very important in your relationship. It's very important in your walk with God. Some of you, when it's time for you to give offering in church, your wisdom of man becomes operational in your life. In Apia. I am a worker in church. I'm a worker in church. Not all workers. Maybe I'm in guest service, I'm in choir, maybe, and by my leadership position in church, I am expected to do 2 services. Wisdom of man operational naturally. Why should I give offering 2 times? Hello? You don't want to talk. Why should I give? But it is in the realm of what? The wisdom of man. I am telling you the truth. You feel, what's it? Because everything about your walk with God is smartness. Everything about your commitment in church is smartness. Everything, your wisdom has been leading you. The Bible said, lean not on your own understanding. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and lean not on your own understanding. God knows the best way to bless you. God knows the best way to increase you. God knows the best way to multiply you. Listen, I've understood this, that whenever God says do this, I do it immediately, because I have never outgiven God in my life. can even give it, and 1 month I'm still broke. 2 months I'm even still what? Broke. But when I turn around and watch the benefits of the giving, it's over every time. So why will I still be struggling with tithing? Why will I still be struggling with giving offering? Why will I still be struggling if God lays in my heart to do a project in church? Why will I still be struggling if God says I should release my first fruit? Why will I still be struggling if God says I should help somebody? Why will I struggle if God says I should pay somebody's school fees? Why? If God says you should give somebody a scholarship, why will you be struggling? Because you're calculating. In a be a calculator with your own wisdom. But your wisdom, how far has it gotten you? When the people in the time, when the rain started falling in Noah, imagine how wise Noah became. Come on now. No, imagine when the rain started falling and the ship started sailing. What do you think Noah's wife will think of Noah? Come on now. Hello, if you are Noah's wife, sister, what will you say? Just one word, somebody. You respect you only, okay? I respect you. One other word, somebody. Say something. You don't know how to say things to your husband. You have problem. When they do things, you say things. Oh yeah. Say something. Odogu. When you say Odogu, I will say yes. You know, the Lord spoke to me precisely 120 years past. I heard the Lord clear. You know, I heard him clear, and the children will say, what will the children say? Hey, Mpa, hey, Mpa, and the daughter-in-laws. Suddenly, the foolishness of God supersedes all their wisdom. Why? That is why in Hebrews chapter 11, Noah was put amongst the men of faith. Followed God. It's very important you understand it. Be sure. Some of you, it might cost you your family. Some of you, it might cost you friends. When I was in university, and when the call of God was coming strong in my life, I called the lady I was dating. I said, I like you, I love you very well, but I need to cut this relationship. She talked. I said, I can't carry this relationship alongside with the what? With the next level. My friend Tony came and said, guy, relax, just tell me what's in be the real. I said, now this thing why I tell you. You know I love this girl too much. But the ministry is a demand on me now. The relationship should be cut. All my friends, my classmates gathered. Do you know that even when we went after we had graduated, we went for our internship. I met some of my friends, they now gathered me and say, guy, you know, say we don't come out school now. Really, tell me, what thing happened that time? That girl was a good girl. I say, the ministry, the call of God in my life at that time demanded that I do what? That I quit the relationship, that I didn't need distraction. And that was it. And that was the only reason. Not you did this. Of course, the lady was very good. She never did anything bad. Not that you did this. Not that. My very close clique of friends, because all of us got angry. All of them started beefing me. Now, why will I do this? I said, I don't know how to explain it. I just wish everybody will understand. But it's that simple. Today she's happy, I'm happy. It's very important you know it. God, part time. Following God is, in one word, called sacrifice. For the preaching of this cross, to them who are perishing, it is foolishness. But unto us who are being saved, it is the power of God. Cross means sacrifice. Bow down your heads and pray. The devil didn't know that he wasn't as important as he thought he was.